in 21. So I was almost 70. I was hiking with a friend up in Half Moon Bay, and we were parked in a parking garage there. And when we went back to the parking garage, one of those arms that controls the traffic going in and out was faulty, and I was walking under it, and it came down. And when I put my arms up to keep it from hitting my head, it just threw me down onto the ground, onto the concrete parking lot, and I didn't have my hands to brace me. So it dislocated and really broke my femur and my hip. And it was weird. It was right during COVID. And my whole goal at that time was just stay out of a hospital. Right? So there I am realizing I can't move. I'm going to have to go to a hospital. And so that was its whole other part of the story, was how to get in and out of a hospital and stay unvaccinated. But anyway, I did. And so I was really hurt. Like for the first time, it was like, whoa, I have something that's going to really take work to get back. And I was a runner also. And the first thing they said is, well, you won't be able to run again. So that was its own emotional thing to deal with, because that had been such a part of my mental health, was getting out and running 5 miles a day or something. So anyway, I started seeing, I was down. Foster was so good and so good-natured and so good-humored. He would rate me. Like, we have this thing with our grandkids in the pool where they'll run and jump and do a flip or this or that, and he'll rate them like it's some Olympic score. And so I would be lying there, and I would have to use my right leg to hook under my left leg to lift it, to try to move it to be able to just get out of bed. And I think that's a 9.5, like really cheering me on there. Anyway, so I started seeing a physical therapist who had been recommended in town. And the main thing I got was, oh, you're doing really well for your age. It's like, I don't want to do really well for my age. I want to do really well. So their expectation was so low. And I wasn't really improving. I was getting okay, but I heard a lot, and I could tell if that was my standard, that they're like, oh, this is pretty good. Like, if that was pretty good, I was not going to end up in great shape for the rest of my life. And I have my grandmother lived to be 103. My mom's going to be 100 this summer. Like, my chances of living a long life just on the gene level, they're pretty high. So I was motivated, like, if I have decades more, I want them to be healthy, active years. So anyway, I went to a few different physical therapists trying to find someone, and I was unable to find anyone whose expectations would meet mine. And so I was saying that to a friend of mine, and she said, oh, you got to try Victor. And so, and also I had really bad frozen shoulders, both arms. Like, I had to bend my head down to wash my hair in the shower because I couldn't lift my arms up. So I was just worked and so unaccustomed to being physically that out of it. But anyway, I started with Victor. And the first thing that I was so grateful for was that his expectations exceeded mine. He's like, you can do anything you want to do, and I will work with you to take you there. And that was just so refreshing to me, to know that somebody could help me be my best self physically and energetically, and to just know what to do and how to do that. Because I didn't realize, one of the things I learned right off was how compensatory most pain is. Like, the actual site of the injury is one thing. It's mostly everything trying to compensate for it all around, whether it's my right hip or some other part of my leg to make up for it. So a lot of what was needed was to help support the structures that could allow the area of the injury to actually relax and know it wasn't on its own, that it had to do everything. And there was a lot of trauma there also. I think surgery is super traumatic for a body. And so it needed just kind of an honoring that we got a team. My body's a team of a network, and my mind is a part of that team. But so it's just my right side, my left side, my feet, my shoulders, the whole deal. So, and then in terms of results, so literally I could not lift my arms even high enough to show you here. And I think it was within 3 sessions or something, I was able to get my arms to here and then here. And in no time, my frozen shoulders were resolved, which was also a big deal because the physical therapist who I'd gone to for that was recommending surgery, where they knock you out and then rip apart all of the inflammation and congestion to break the adherence. And then you heal from that. Super, your body experiences that, whether your mind is aware of it or not. That's another very traumatic thing to do, plus getting a general, not my favorite idea. So thankfully, I didn't do that, although I was so frustrated. I have to say I considered it. It was just like, stop this, Anyway, so working with Victor, I started it once a week and was doing a lot of it in between. And I'm a super disciplined person. And like I said, I was physical, but I found that I actually didn't do all that I needed to do with the right postures without upping how much. So I'm working with Victor 3 times a week. It's $150 a session. And I'll tell you, I would not do so many other things before I would stop my Victor sessions, because those 3 days give me the reinforcement. And you can actually do things improperly and think I'm working out and this is great, but you're actually causing more harm. So even just knowing what's the posture, what am I doing when I'm stacking everything in a way, and the tweaks on my posture and biomechanics that Victor gives me when he's seeing me they seem so little and they make all the difference. And so I just found that doing those workouts in your Victor's company really helps me to have the assurance and the progress that I wanted. So that's what I'm doing, and I love it. And like Foster said, it's natural to just say, oh my God, if you're experiencing anything, just try this. I mean, my daughter, she had a pretty gnarly birth experience and came back postpartum. She's been working with Victor she just comes in. She says, oh my God, we just call them the Victor workouts, it's like a gift. So, and many other people as well. So it's just kind of like wanting others to be able to know about the nuances because it's so valuable. And I have to say, in terms of reading it, like Victor can tell whether I've been sleeping well, whether stressed. I mean, it's all so much part of it. And I've always said we do a hike from around our place, Foster and I've often come back and said, it's just never a bad idea to do that hike. And I feel that way about my time with Victor. It is never a bad idea to have a session with Victor. I come away from every one of them invigorated and calm and stronger.